Hello and welcome to my Transplant Manchester vlog for 2025. Transplant Manchester took place on the 2nd of August. There isn't as much interacting with other people as there was the 2023 vlog I did, but I know you guys really liked that vlog, so I wanted to do it again to show you guys what it looks like from the community point of view to go to Pride. Okay, enjoy.
Joyful and also being defiant, especially in a climate that so often tries to silence us. So give yourselves a massive round of applause and really make some noise.
Like 1 week ago, London Trans Plus Pride happened and we smashed the world record again by having the world's largest trans rights protest on the streets here in the UK, with more than 100,000 people showing up for our community.
Next to you, I want to know the person who stood 10 people across from you, and I want you to know them too. The community we hold when we stand side by side, supporting strangers and friends alike, our own causes and our loved ones, that's the reason why I stand here today. To listen and stand with siblings of all kinds. To care and to support and figure out what we can do better. Always, I want to be fighting by your side.
And on top of these legal and political attacks, we've continued to face a wave of hostile media coverage, public dehumanisation and rising hate crimes, all whilst trying to live our lives with dignity, safety and joy. Like many of you, I know what it's like to navigate life as a transgender person in the United Kingdom, or as it's often felt, Turf Island. I've been questioned, doubted, excluded, rejected, and outright discriminated against. I've sat on the endless NHS waitlists for life-saving care, dealt with under-informed NHS GPs, and jumped through countless bureaucratic hoops just to have my identity reflected accurately on documents and official forms. But I've also had the privilege of knowing so many incredible trans people from all walks of life.
For the first time in 13 years, there's been more steps backwards and forward when it comes to inclusion. In the US, just in the past 6 months, 953 anti-trans bills were discussed. They range from suggesting life imprisonment for medical professionals who provide gender-affirming care, to listing transgenderism as a mental disorder, to death penalty for trans people. The UK has been under pressure from the US administration to roll back on trans rights in order to close on deals amid the tariff wars. And even without the pressure, the UK is not far behind in anti-trans legislations. Between the Cass review, the Sullivan review, the Ixon's Farmer school case, the Supreme Court decision, and the interim guidance, trans rights have been consistently taken away, especially targeting disabled and neurodivergent folks, young people, and people from the global majority. I believe the world our governments are trying to build. A world where trans children live in shame and fear. A world where you're convinced there is someone like you. A world where you can't access healthcare or documentation unless you give up significant parts of your life. A world where a fascist state controls people's identities, the most personal thing a person can have. A world where your identity isn't a right, it's a political tool, a bargaining chip, and at best a compromise between what politicians deem acceptable to achieve and who you are. I am proof we can survive the world. By standing together, it will not kill us now. Thank you, everyone.
Trans Kids Deserve Better, our direct action network run by trans kids for trans kids. We've taken direct action against West Streeting, the LGB Alliance, AHRC, Supreme Court, the NHS, the Department of Education, and many more organisations looking to remove the rights, autonomy and safety of trans kids. We deserve autonomy, respect, inclusion and dignity, because right now we are not getting that. To quote Wesley Paul Streeting, the trans community is at the wrong end of all the statistics for mental ill health, self-harm and suicide. He said that while removing puberty blockers from us. We are done pleading. We are done watching politicians trade our lives for votes. We must continue the fight together as a community united against transphobia, showing the government that clearly doesn't care about us, that we will not stand for this injustice.
I want to feel proud to be British. I want to thrive in this country for as long as possible, but I can't right now. I want the UK to be a country where I can access trans healthcare, where our lives aren't matters for political discussions, and where we don't need to march for our rights, where I can put a neutral marker on my passport, and where I don't have to be ashamed of my own government.
Again and again, we are sick of teachers who refuse to gender us correctly, refuse to respect us because they're too scared of TERFs. We are sick of a health secretary who seems intent on destroying us. I am sick of being scared for my friends' safety and their lives. I am sick of grief. So we take action. Why should we let them be entertained while we struggle and scramble to explain why we deserve to exist? We deserve so much more than to exist. We deserve to live. We deserve to do whatever the fuck we want with our lives and with our bodies. We deserve to live and thrive and love and be in a world that respects us for who we are. And activism and protest in the history of our community got us here right now. And think of where it could get us in the next 50 years if we really, really go for it. We are so strong together. I am tired. We are all so tired. But we have a movement building, and we have the chance to build a beautiful trans future. And we have a chance for our community to be safe. Fight for it. Fight for it. Not everyone has made it, but we can fight. Get out on the streets. Take action. Support your community. Hold each other. Stand in solidarity with migrants and all the other people who are victims of fascists. It's all the same. It's all the same people. They want to see us down and they will not. We will fucking fight for this and we will fucking win. Thank you.
This is a quick little interlude of me getting food before I headed to the first panel event, which is the only one I went to because I had to leave. This is the Beacons of Becoming Stories of Trans Joy and Hope panel.
I've got some set questions that I'm going to ask them, and then as long as there is time, we will also take some questions from yourselves. There is no pressure to do that. Like, feel free to come and go as you need to. If you need to like stand and move around. Anything unexpected that's given you hope. So, has anyone got any initial feelings, thoughts, ponderings?
I think what's given me hope is the fact that since the HRC and the shit show of Supreme Court ruling, a lot of cis people have come on to stand with us as allies for the community. That's given me a lot of hope. Hope from unexpected places though. So I transitioned 13 years ago. I moved to a new town, new job, had no friends in the area I moved to, and I thought I could do everything on my own. So I'm used to have to do that growing up anyway.
Yeah.
I'm 6 weeks into my transition. I was in an absolute mess. Mental health was down on the floor. And I actually watched my transsexual summer. And it was watching that and seeing the community those folks had in that house that made me realise I was never going to get out of the place I was in unless I sought out my own community.
Especially within a Muslim community. It's like it was just not spoken of at all. And it was really hard to understand who I was, how to get information. I remember life before the internet, so it was like very, very difficult to kind of understand or even reach out to the community or where everyone was. So everyone was in stealth mode more or less. And now with social media and how things are, everything is a lot more in our faces, even especially the bad stuff. But also I'm seeing that all the people who would usually kind of be behind the scenes are now able to speak up and reach out to the community and create a community with people who you might not even meet in person, but you still have a connection with. And I think that's what brings me hope, to kind of see that happening, because more of us are now realizing, yeah, we don't have to be quiet anymore. Because why are we being quiet when they're not? It's like, they didn't wake up and start hating us, they've always hated us. They just now feel that it's like appropriate and fine to just now put it out there. Well, if that's how they're going to be, then we should be exactly the same. Why should I stop being who I am? The one thing that's the whole reason why they do what they do. That's the reason why they start their hate, because they want us to stop being who we are and stop enjoying our lives. So the more we enjoy our lives and put it out there, the more it gets under their skin, because you're not gonna stop it, because we've always been here. So that's what brings like me hope and encouragement to kind of see how things are going forward.
You know, I was 13, and that first year was horrible. But I didn't have a space to be me at home. I didn't have a space to be me at school. And I just hit a point when I was ready to give up. I was very, very close. And there was one morning that I had been hospitalised, and I was sat at Sheffield Children's Hospital, which, if anyone knows, beautiful red brick building that looks out on the university. And I was just sat in that window, numb, ready to be done, ready to give up. And there was a group of uni students, and one of them was trying to balance a loaf of toasty bread on her head. And she did not have the coordination to do it, she could not do it. But it made me laugh. And it was a moment of, I don't even know what happened in that moment, but that person and that loaf of bread triggered something in me to be like, oh, actually, I don't want to kill myself. And it wasn't as easy as that. For the next sort of 5 years, as I was really fighting to build my own community and to build my own hope and to get through it, being like, hey, no, actually, you're gonna make a path for me, otherwise I'm going to make it for myself. Hello, I'm here now, but I needed that one moment, that catalyst of, oh no, joy does still exist, even in the worst times, even when I'm sat feeling completely numb. Some kid trying to balance a loaf of bread on their head can get me through.
I first started making my comedy content, and I had a bit of a backlash from within the community of the comedy I was making. Sort of people thinking, I suppose just thinking that I was messing about, I wasn't taking things seriously, and especially when I started to play some female characters, there was a bit of backlash of that, of sort of, you know, as though I was kind of, I don't know, like maybe just not representing females in the best way. And I think because I was a bit younger at the time as well, I didn't have the tools, the language to and even really understand myself why I was creating my comedy. And And really I just wanted to reach people, make people laugh, because I just really believe humour connects people. And what I always loved is that I was reaching people that didn't know I was trans and weren't trans.
I had no idea.
Well, I love that. You know. But yeah, I kind of love that. And then for a while I hated that I was trans, and there was definitely a little bit of that internal shame still going on at that point in my life as well, actually. But then what I did was eventually I found myself again, and I was so liberated to be able to sort of come out so many times. But I came out to my following that I built up that was purely for my comedy, and I said, actually, I'm trans, and it was kind of that real sense of, I kind of love that I, let people know you've been watching a trans guy all this time. I've no idea he was trans, but I don't know what your view is on trans people, but hopefully I've broken through that a bit and just, let people know that we're just human like everybody else. So
in my second book, my younger self wrote a letter to me because I wanted to apologize to my younger self for pretending like they didn't exist after I had transitioned. And then when I got older and could see my journey through an objective lens, I realized that actually that was a really selfish thing to do, because that kid went through so much when I wasn't ready to face the world. When I was inside, they had to face the world and all the awful things that happened until I was ready to externally express myself. So how I see it now is that young kid had to face the world while I was locked inside, but now the roles are reversed and that little kid is now locked inside, and now it's my job to protect that kid forever. Because it's my way of saying, I'm never going to forget what you did for me, because without everything that you went through as a kid, I wouldn't have been able to have the strength to figure out how I can be me and how I'm stood here today. And then in my second book, that kid wrote a letter to me forgiving me for abandoning all those goals and ripping up all those photos and pretending that they didn't exist.
What do you hope to see in this world we are in? Where will we be going to?
Thank you. What do you hope to see in the next 5 years? Oh, sorry. I was trying to prepare myself for somebody else, but also ask what you think of
I would like to see, and I hope we're going to a space where we realise that trans rights isn't just for the dolls. I love the Protect the Dolls t-shirt, great, but what about the bricks? What about the non-binary people? I think it's realising that trans rights can't just be for the trans people you find palatable or that you find easy. Trans rights will be for disabled people. Trans rights will be for every fucking person that feels welcome under our umbrella. And that's what I hope for the next 5 years. Whether we'll make it happen, I believe that you will. So.
No, I just completely took the words out of my mouth. I completely agree. No, I was also thinking that I think people need to realise that trans rights benefit everybody, not just trans people, right? And just the world will be a more beautiful place, a more accepting place full of love, and I just think the sooner people realise that, the better. And I do have hope that that will come, but I think we've got a way to go. We just need to keep putting ourselves out there in our own way. However, activism looks so different for everyone, and so we just need to keep fighting in our own way, and I really think eventually we will get there.
So yeah, that was my Trans Pride Manchester experience this year. I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. It's unfortunate that I didn't have any friends who were available that day to go with, but it's always nice to go to these things with your family and show them the community and stuff as well. But yeah, no, it was brilliant. The panel was amazing. All the speeches at the start, the parade, everybody was so enthusiastic. It was great. I can't wait to see where this event goes in future years with the new hosts as well. I think it's going to be great. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.